Hi, welcome to Harvard News. I'm Derek, your lead news anchor. Going to school is just routine for Americans, but what happens when immigrants get the same rights to institutions and colleges as Americans do? We plan our whole college life and pay tons of funds to it, but as soon as an immigrant sets foot onto American soil, all they have to do is pay in-state fees. Hi, Austin, and thank you for joining us today. He's going to be helping us explain the Pilot versus Doe ruling to help education for the immigrants in 1982. First question: can school administration ask for documentation of immigrants?
Administration is not allowed to ask for such documentation as this may expose immigrants' status.
When a child immigrant enters America, are we obligated to educate them?
Absolutely. Every American and immigrant are allowed to education, whether it be primary, secondary, or high school.
What if a school wants to withhold teaching towards an immigrant?
Well, schools are actually not allowed to give judgment of any kind just because you're an immigrant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
For your time, I got the chance to speak with Terry about the educational rights of undocumented immigrants, and we'll cut to that now. Thanks.
Hi, I have Terry here. I'm going to be asking him a couple of questions about the educational rights for undocumented immigrants. The first question is, do you know anything about the DREAM Act?
No, what is the DREAM Act?
It is the Development, Relief, and Education for Alien Minors. It grants conditional dwelling for immigrants, and it can lead up to permanent residency. The second question is, if you could guess the percentage out of 100% of how many undocumented students per year graduate, what would it be?
10 to 12%?
It's actually 22%. The third question is, what are your thoughts of student immigrants only having to pay in-state tuition compared to a citizen who has to pay possibly out-of-state tuition?
Well, that's a tough one. You know, for students nowadays that grow up in a certain state, they want to have the luxury and the benefit of getting the lower educational costs for being a resident of that state. You start talking about undocumented immigrants, these are people that have come into our country, in essence, illegally. And to be given the same rights as people that have been born and raised or established a residency in a state, I would have a bit of a problem with that, because those costs have to then be absorbed by not only the current residents, but it could also increase the cost of out-of-state residents, which could make it difficult to attract new students and desired students from other locales that university may be trying to appeal to.
Thank you for that point. The next question is, did you know that immigrants actually don't even have to present their social security number while applying for financial aid?
That really does surprise me, because if I'm not mistaken, the social security number is often how the repayment of those funds for aid or loans or grants, no, not grants, but loans can be tracked down and be recouped by the institutions that are lending them. Without a social security number, you know, a lot of these loans could go unpaid, a lot of this aid could go unrepaid, and once again, it raises the level of all costs for all students in our country.
Okay. A little bit of a statement here. Alabama actually just passed a law where they have $32 million in funds, and now immigrants to $25,000 in scholarship funds. And to my previous question, number 4, is that they don't have to present their social security for that either.
Yeah, again, that's really surprising that that law would be passed. I can understand wanting to, attract more and more students, and perhaps, there's definitely a desire amongst immigrants, whether legal or undocumented, to achieve the American dream by going to college and getting good educations and good jobs. So Alabama may see a value in appealing to a broader range. Again, I personally think that there should be a standard level of background checks necessary to achieve aid that's in essence paid for either by taxpayers or alumnus or other organizations, and it should go to those that are not just deserving but legally deserving.
All right, and the last thing, do you have any more suggestions or any comments about the educational rights for undocumented students?
We definitely don't want to, deny them of the ability to, gain an education, and that's definitely one of the main appealing things that our country has to offer. But it definitely should not be at the expense of legal citizens, documented immigrants that are doing things the right way to ensure it's a fair playing field for all. So I'd like to see, a little more scrutiny on how and which students are being allowed, but other than financial background, race, ethnic origin, and such, that should never be a factor. But if you aren't here legally, there should be ways of vetting those out and making sure that um, first go through the right steps to become a citizen or an immigrant, and then after that, you'd have the ability to attend any of our wonderful colleges and universities.
Thank you for your time and information.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Back to the student.
Thank you, Terry, for your useful information and your time. I have here some questions I'm going to answer. First one is, what are the different viewpoints of your chosen topic? Different viewpoints on our chosen topic are undocumented students are able to get away with having to pay in-state fees only. In the same way, students are forced with an incredible amount of hardship coming from Mexico, England, China, just to study here. The second question is, who is the target audience of your topic? Our target audience is any undocumented student. We are here to give them as much information as we can to better their understanding about colleges' policies and their own rights. The third question is, what groups does it empower, and what groups does it disempower? It empowers undocumented students or immigrants due to the fact that they don't need to represent any form of their immigrant status. It disempowers citizens of the United States because we need to pay out-of-state fees along with federal financial aid, which the immigrants don't. The fourth question is, how does media portrayal affect the public opinion related to your topic and in general? It makes the immigrants look bad and that they receive free college education where in fact they have to pass an equity bill and pay in-state tuition fees. In general, immigrants and undocumented students are still students just trying to better their education. Thank you. In this image here, I'm going to be showing you the different states' policies in college. In green, states prohibit in-state tuition to illegal aliens. In blue, states don't provide in-state tuition and it does not prohibit anything either. In red, states allow in-state tuition to illegal aliens. And in yellow, states offer in-state tuition with strict guidelines. In this next image, I'm going to be explaining the education level of current adult illegal immigrants. On the far left, there's the tan in blue. Tan represents the estimate by the Center of Immigration Studies. Blue is the estimate of the Pew Hispanic Center. 49% in blue lack high school diploma. 61% in tan. Both 25% in blue and tan for high school graduates only. 10% in blue for some college, 5% for some college in tan. 15% for blue of a college graduate, and 9% in tan for a college graduate. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in with us, talking about the educational rights for undocumented immigrants. I hope that information benefited you guys in some sort of way. And it's Derek signing off. See you next week. Thank you on Harvard News. Hi, and good morning. Why you do this? Thank you, Terry, for your time and your valuable information. Now I'm going to have some tea.
Hi, I have Terry here. I'm going to be asking you a couple of...
Hi, I was deleting all our footage. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in with us, talking about the educational right reads only. The same way students are forced of faith. Hi, and good morning. Welcome to Harvard News. I'm Derek, your lead news anchor. Going to school is just routine for Americans, but what happens when immigrants get to have the same rights to institutions and colleges as Americans do? College and high school life is planned out. Thank you for tuning in with us. In other news, Harambe has risen, and thank you for tuning. Nope.